In today's video, we have a slick smuggling operation by a UK gang financed by a Dubai consortium. The head of the £250 million smuggling gang would use his legit company to pick up from Europe and high Class A product in holiday trailers. The product will then go through their own dealers, but their greed would be their undoing. It would lead to a 5-month specialist police operation. This is Curios&Spiritual. We look into one of the biggest operations we have seen so far. What went right and what went wrong. We look into the case, the investigation and the trial. In September 2023, UK law enforcement agencies uncovered and dismantled a £250 million smuggling gang. The operation was led by Guy Remington. He involved a network of accomplices, including Luke Hurst, Thomas Smith and Morgan Towner. For everything they'd done right, it was let down by a simple mistake, shining a spotlight on the whole operation. So let's go a lot more into the detail. First, let's look at the gang and their roles. The operation was masterminded in Dubai by a group who put the original outlay for the operation. The operation would be handed to Guy Remington, 48 years old, whose idea was simple but a brilliant one. It went down well with the backers. Just one successful trip would return the outlay and substantial profit. He orchestrated the operation, leveraging his experience and resources to establish a sophisticated smuggling network. A resident of Hereford, Guy Remington concealed his criminal activities behind several legit businesses, one being a trailer business he had for many years. He was very well connected, having established dealer and supplier contacts in Europe. He is partially paralysed and used an adapted vehicle. The logistics, this was down to Luke Hurst, 37 years old, and he was a close friend of Remington. Hurst was based in Deeside and played a pivotal role in the operation by offering his farm, Turlough as a central hub for storage of product and distribution. Turlough was originally a dairy farm, but the large holding of 145 acres was sold in 2011 for £5,000 shy of £1 million. Luke Hurst's property was strategically located, providing a secluded environment for the unloading, repackaging and redistribution of the product. It was perfect within half a mile of the A55 dual expressway that runs the length of North Wales, giving easy access to Liverpool, Manchester and the UK motorway network to be distributed right across the UK. The transporter, he was Morgan Towner, 47 years old, from Leatherhead. He handled the southern logistics using vehicles and trailers equipped with hidden compartments. Towner ensured the secure and efficient transportation of Class A product to southern England, further expanding the network's reach. The distributor, this was Thomas Smith, 41 years old. He was involved in getting the product to known and trusted dealers. The Class A product would come from South America, then delivered to the Netherlands, where it would be collected and driven back to Europe and then to the UK. The operation involved meticulous planning and execution. Between May and September 2023, Guy Remington made 9 trips to Europe, each time returning with large consignments of Class A. The product was smuggled through the Channel Tunnel, using modified trailers with concealed compartments to evade detection. Upon arrival in the UK, the Class A product was transported to Turlough, the farm owned by Luke Hurst. At the farm, Luke Hurst oversaw the repackaging of the product into smaller quantities, which were then weighed and sorted into boxes and bags for onward supply and distribution. Thomas Smith and Morgan Towner then took charge of spreading the narcotics to their respective regions, utilising known and trusted existing dealer networks to ensure smooth operation. Thomas Smith, a dealer himself in Liverpool, put the product through his own network of dealers. Luke Hurst would meet the customers at a nearby service station or on Pinfold Lane. Then he'd take the cars to his property, where he'd fill them with Class A product before giving their vehicles back to them, all to conceal the location of his farm. What the gang failed to take into account is not everyone is for cheaper Class A product, and by this I mean rival dealers. So when the new product they imported in hit the streets at such quantity, it put a lot of rivals' noses out of joint. So let's say dealers' take-home packet is getting severely reduced by a rival. What do? Do they go to war? You could, but there's no longevity in it. There is someone you can call, and it's free. Have you guessed? Yep, that's it. Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers, a phone line you call if you want to sink your competition and you don't want to go to the police. Dealers have been using this on their rivals for decades. Crime Stoppers started in 1988. All the info gets put into police intel. Even in 2004, the campaign for Crime Stoppers was rat on a rat, to go after dealers and the gangs. Police can't operate without information, and Crime Stoppers has become a valuable source for police intelligence. This led to several anonymous tips, but not of Guy Remington, the mastermind travelling back and forth in the tunnel on the Euro Choo-Choo. The tips had coincided with the intel police they had of other dealers. Lower end of the scale, it was all pointed to the farm, Turlescock, in North Wales, the farm Luke Hurst operated from. There had been police intel and known faces and registrations of known dealers that had been seen in the area. ANPR cameras had been picking up the registrations. Police gathered a task force, and the farm and roads in and out would be put into surveillance and see what comes and goes. The Regional Organised Crime Unit has 600 officers. It covers North Wales, Merseyside, Greater Manchester, Lancashire, Cheshire and Cumbria. It initiated the investigation after receiving credible intelligence about suspicious activities from the farm. They linked it to Guy Remington and his trailer business. Surveillance teams monitored the key players, employing electronic tracking and undercover agents to build a comprehensive picture of the operation. The investigation would last 5 months. Once it was known that Guy Remington had left the UK on the 18th September 2023, it was believed, in fact, even more than a sure thing, they would return in possession of Class A product. But it was on Remington's knife and his final run to Europe that the organised criminal group was brought down. On September the 20th, 2023, law enforcement executed a meticulously planned raid on Hurst Farm. Officers apprehended Remington while he pulled into the farm with a fresh shipment of product. He was arrested at the scene and taken into custody. Following an extensive search of Hurst Farm, officers seized just under £184,000 in cash from Remington's vehicle, 505 kilograms of Class A and 108 kilograms of Class A H, estimated to be worth between £15 million and £21 million wholesale. Luke Hurst was arrested later that day in the back of a taxi in Mould. He ditched his vehicle and was trying to escape. Searches of a number of Remington's business premises on the same day led to the recovery of more than £700,000 in cash, numerous high-end vehicles, as well as other high-value assets. On October the 18th, 2023, officers arrested Thomas Smith at his home address in Liverpool. He'd been keeping his head down, and he'd not left the house for more than a month. Officers seized half a kilo of Class A and 9,800 tabs, with a street value of £167,000 and approximately £16,000 in cash. They also recovered a notepad containing extensive records of his onward supply network. On October the 26th, 2023, a search warrant was carried out in Leatherhead, which led to the arrest of Morgan Towner, who acted as a courier for organised criminal groups based in the south of England. Police investigators later determined that the network had imported just over 2 tons of Class A to the UK, with an estimated street value exceeding £250 million. At Chester Crown Court, all 4 defendants were charged with conspiracy to import and supply Class A. Additional charges were for Thomas Smith, which included possession with the intent to supply Class B. The defendants entered guilty pleas at Chester Crown Court on November 2nd, 2023, acknowledging their roles in the criminal enterprise. On March 21st, 2024, the court delivered its sentences. Guy Remington received a minimum of 18 years in prison. Luke Hurst received a minimum of 12 years. Thomas Smith received a minimum sentence of 18 years. And Morgan Towner received a minimum sentence of 7 years. The Dubai backers remain free, and they have not been identified to this day. After Remington and Hurst were arrested, Operation Falcon started to mop up the buyers, suppliers and dealers that police had caught under surveillance. Charles Dilworth, 25 years old from Liverpool, fled the scene and later left the country. He was arrested at Manchester Airport upon his return and was jailed for 7 years and 6 months after pleading guilty to conspiracy to supply Class A product. Dilworth's getaway car was a black Range Rover. It was spotted by police in the area. 5 minutes later, the occupants of the car made a false 999 call, claiming they'd been kidnapped at knife point on their way to a local bar. A quick search by officers revealed that the bar had been closed since 2016. They were later arrested and convicted for attempting to pervert the course of justice. Also sentenced were suppliers and couriers from Liverpool, South Yorkshire and London. John Fairclough, 37 years old from Liverpool, was jailed for 7 years after pleading guilty to conspiracy to supply Class A. He was a courier who made 6 runs to the farm, distributing the Class A products across the Liverpool area. David Haig, 50 years old of Doncaster, was jailed for 9 years and 4 months after he pleaded guilty to possession with the intent to supply Class A. He was a supplier from South Yorkshire who visited the farm 8 times. James Minnar, 30 years old from Liverpool, was jailed for 7 years and 6 months after pleading guilty to possession with the intent to supply Class A. He was spotted on the farm's CCTV loading product into his van. He was a Class A supplier to Liverpool who helped organise the gang to distribute their product to other couriers who visited the farm. Michael Day, who's 36 years old, from Liverpool, was jailed for 6 years after pleading guilty to conspiracy to supply Class A. Day was also a courier who visited the farm. Mark Blower, 32 years old, was a London supplier, and he was jailed for 14 years and 3 months for conspiracy to supply Class A product. A spokesman from the police operations team commented that the offenders in this case are involved in a sophisticated criminal operation to import a significant amount of Class A into the UK. Unfortunately for them, despite trying to evade law enforcement by using concealments in their trailer, we were watching their every move before moving in to arrest them. This is without doubt the biggest seizure we have had, and our officers have worked tirelessly to ensure these offenders face the consequences of their crimes. We estimate this group imported between 2 and 3 tonnes of Class A into the country over a 4-month period, with a street value of several £100 million. I've no doubt that if we had not intervened, they would have continued to import more, and I'd like to thank North Wales, Cheshire and Merseyside Police for their support during this investigation. We would estimate that the 4 to 5 months product shipped in was valued in excess of 250 million. It would have been distributed right across the UK. This is by far one of the most organised gangs we have seen, operating behind legit fronts and not losing their cool. They remained in control, and there was no shock to why this group were chosen and financed. There is an extradition treaty between the UK and Dubai which came into force in 2008. However, it has not been a particularly effective one. The UK and Dubai signed a revised deal on 16th September 2021, with the aim of working together to tackle the unlawful flow of money that fuels organised crime. This still has to be proven. The organised crime group was financed and organised from men in Dubai, but they covered their tracks extremely well. None of the gang have revealed anything about the money men or the organisers. Off the first shipment alone, it would have covered the Dubai men's money initial outlay. Anything after that is gravy. It was a solid plan, extremely simple. The gang never got caught with the shipment at customs. Their capture was because their criminal clients, the gang, was pushing too much product way too fast. The trouble is, if you deal with known faces, you'll also get known and fast. The tips were coming in, and the farm was the key to breaking the gang. Too much too soon. The farm should have stayed out the picture. To the Dubai money men, it was no loss. There is big money to be made from the UK, with addicts and revellers wanting a toot. The money to be made is breathtaking, and if you've got people willing to take the risk for you, you can understand why it's worth a punt.